Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. I'm Justin from the Rise Up podcast. I'm here with the one and only Nathaniel Hill. He is the CEO and founder of Broadway Plus. He's going to dive into it to tell you exactly what Broadway Plus is about, but it is not your average Broadway experience. And I am a complete novice in this area. So Nathaniel's going to be educating me along with y'all on our chat today. So Nathaniel, welcome to the Rise Up podcast.
Thanks so much for having me, Justin.
All right. So I always love beginning at the beginning. Tell me about how you got into theater. Yeah, I know you have a theater background. Give me that lay of the land, how you got from, starting in theater all the way to starting Broadway Plus.
Okay, well, like so many, I was a real theater kid, and we had an excellent theater where I grew up in northern New Hampshire, and I was not the resident little boy, but the go-to little boy in many productions, and that was really where I really got the bug. Knew that I wanted to study theater in school, went to Duke University, not known for its theater program, but I actually had a really great experience and double majored in theater and business, which is what I do now.
There you go.
And lucky for me, one of my professors was good friends with the Broadway producer, helped me get an internship. Instead of going abroad, I actually came to New York City and did a semester here in undergrad. And like I said, a professor helped me get an internship with the Broadway producer whom he was friendly with. I worked on with Manny Eisenberg, who produced all of Neil Simon's work. I interned for him right at the end of his career on a show called Brighton Beach Memoirs that he produced. It was a revival in nine. And from there, I got another internship at Wicked, working for the producer of that show, who helped me get my first job out of school, which was at an ad agency that handles Broadway shows. But yeah, I'm really lucky that it all goes back to that first professor and the friend that he had here on Broadway shows.
It's all about who you know sometimes, right?
I'm afraid in entertainment, it often is.
So okay. So let's kind of dive into your passion for theater, Broadway specifically, and how did you see the opportunity to start Broadway Plus? Because you're not a normal, we'll call it a Broadway
Yeah, we're the
business,
first
right?
and only Broadway experience company is what we say. What I like to say is that we do tickets, but we do everything beyond the ticket. So if you want to meet an actor, if you want to have dinner with actors, if you want to book a group of actors to come perform at your event, if you need group tickets, we do all of those things. And our focus is on really developing a relationship with every client we're working with, being their conduit to Broadway, helping them choose a show. We have about 50 to 60 shows open every year. It's always changing here, which is what I love about it. But that makes it hard for people to know what they might like and what they should go see. So we help them choose what to see and then help them choose another exciting way to engage with it that usually involves meeting. And
So how did you get the idea for it?
there were so many things that led to it in hindsight. I always say the first one was that I grew up traveling. My parents are very avid travelers. And so I developed an appreciation for like experiences and things that like going above and beyond and experiencing something in a way that other people aren't, or in a more in-depth way from a really young age. And that's why a big way I've been able to grow and start the business is through the travel and tourism industry. But more directly, I worked on a show called The Last Ship that Sting wrote. And in my entry level business management job on the show, I was sort of just became the guy that Sting and all of his friends and all of his wife's friends would go to when they wanted to see the show. They wanted to go backstage and meet him. He had promised to hang out with them after the show. I was putting all those things together. And right after that, I was working on Hamilton when it was in development. And Hamilton was just like a true new world for us in all of Broadway in terms of what people wanted to do, how excited they were about it, how much they were willing to spend, and how they wanted to engage with it. So those two experiences made me think like, I think there's a business here. Like on one side, there's the show that I'm working on. And frankly, the show doesn't want to deal with this. And even though they should, and there's an upside for them, there's a lot of benefits to it, but it's so stressful to mount and run a Broadway show that they
Hmm.
were just like, no, we're busy. And I could see that there were so many people who wanted to pay for this and wanted to do this, whether, everyone from like a big, big multinational companies to families celebrating often their daughter's birthday. There were lots of different parties that wanted to engage with shows and have a way to meet actors and do more. And so I started Broadway Plus to be in the middle of that and make it happen for everyone.
So it's kind of like Broadway meets Cameo, right? Like Cameo is like
Yes,
the
especially during the
actor, like we
pandemic.
hire an actor or whatever.
Did Cameo specializes in the video in those videos. We sold those videos. Cameo, by the way, sort maybe coincidentally started by a Duke classmate of mine.
Mm.
Very strange, very interesting. Um, but yes, it's Cameo is I think just the videos, and we do much more long form, like half-hour meeting, 45-minute coaching over Zoom. We did only this during the 18-month Broadway shutdown during COVID, of course, virtual experiences we call them. And then now with Broadway, of course, back open for many years now, we mostly work with people coming to New York or engaging with Broadway on the tour and actually get them into the same room to meet the actor, have a meal with them or something, more long form, more intimate, and more hopefully more interesting. But
Yeah,
yes,
not
that
like
is
the
this is
the
yes.
60-second clip that Cameo provides or whatever. You're like, this is actually hanging out, having dinner, having VIP experiences, learning from them. Like
Yeah.
that's a much more in-depth, one-to-one or one to, small group scenario, right?
Yeah, we always say we want the people we work with to learn and to experience joy through our experiences.
So, do you have a hard time, or did you at the beginning have a hard time getting the actors from the different shows to participate?
I had already been working in management and met a lot of actors for 6 years when I started it. So I had some for sure. Luckily, I'm in the position of offering people money, so that always helps.
Yeah.
And so I think because I was already in the community, had friends who were actors, and again, was trying to help them, I think that helped. But certainly now it's really great that we have so many actors we've worked with. If there's a new one we want to reach, we usually know their friend. I've also hired a lot of former Broadway actors who also have, strong contact lists. So now it's thankfully it's not difficult. Some of the fancier ones can be a little more challenging, but usually we can get it done.
That's where your people skills come in, right? Yeah.
Yeah, but I do
Yeah.
all this because I think Broadway actors are the coolest, hardest working people in the world, and
Yeah.
I adore them, and so thankfully we're able to be a part of the community.
So, how would you describe the type of clients or
Yeah,
people that most resonate with Broadway Plus?
sure. We have a lot of different groups of clients now. Thankfully, we call them divisions of the company. The coolest thing to come out of the pandemic and the 18-month Broadway shutdown was that we can work with anyone anywhere in the world who has a computer and an internet connection. We built a really, really awesome online booking platform that has over 1,000 working Broadway actors signed up with profiles on the platform, and anyone anywhere can book them for a video, a meet and greet, or a coaching. So a lot of times, if for example, a school will be doing Mean Girls, and a girl who's auditioning will meet for her school's production of Mean Girls will use our platform to do an audition coaching with someone who was actually in Mean Girls on Broadway. So that's the first. And then there are families coming to New York, single travel under 10 ticket, non-group travelers, like I said, often celebrating daughters' birthdays and or anniversaries. And for those, we call that like travel and tourism typically. We also work with New Yorkers. I guess we call it the VIP experiences division.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
that might be an in-person coaching or a dinner with an actor or a backstage tour or a meet and greet. And then we do that for groups. So, say a company or a school on a field trip is coming, we handle their group tickets, we get them a discount on group tickets, and then we'll package that with another exciting experience like a group dancing or singing lesson with an actor from the show that you just saw, or a meal for the group with many actors from the show that they're about to go see. And then sometimes for in the corporate entertainment space, we'll book actors, put together like small shows if there's like a conference celebrating, let's say it's like all the dermatologists are here for a conference, we might put
Yeah.
together a custom show of Broadway actors going to the actual conference, Friday morning at 9 a.m. and
Yeah.
singing a Welcome to New York medley. So those are our divisions.
And so and just to be clear, just want to make sure I understand, you're the only one in this space that does this.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So somebody, if somebody's just looking for Broadway tickets, like there's a dime a dozen, right? Of those
Yeah,
people.
yeah. That's
Right.
I mean, we had to be there. Like you said, there's already a lot of companies doing that. So we focus on, we sell tickets, but we focus on combining them with amazing experiences. And we're still the only experience company focused and for Broadway.
So within Broadway, because again, I'm a novice in this whole
Yeah, yeah.
thing, right? So educate me like I'm a 2-year-old. Is how, like, kind of post pandemic, kind of coming out of that, and now that you're probably, I'm guessing, kind of the best way of saying, not settling, but kind of getting into the rhythm again, right?
hmm
What kind of, on Broadway itself, what are you seeing in the industry? How has it shifted? Are you seeing more people wanting this more one-to-one or smaller group things, or what are you seeing?
It did take 3 years for Broadway to get back to its 2019 benchmark of numbers. So it's great that we finally in 2024 were basically aligned with 2019. So that was a long road to economic recovery. Broadway and New York City tourism are fully back, so that's been really great. Last season, the big trend was that we had three major movie star driven plays. We had Denzel Washington, uh, Jake Gyllenhaal, George Clooney, Kieran Culkin all do big plays that were huge sellouts. Not long runs, just like 12, 14 weeks. But those broke a lot of sales records in terms, like they were making $3 million a week.
Dang.
Those plays in the good weeks, yeah. So they were breaking a lot of records in that. It was great because it brought a lot of press and attention to Broadway that we don't always get. And we saw some really creative new musicals. There's a show called Maybe Happy Ending that won the Tony Award for Best Musical. I believe it was the first Broadway show to have originally been written in an Asian language in Korean and then translated and brought here, something like that. Don't quote me on that, but
Okay. I
and it
won't.
also had a predominantly Asian cast. So it was really creative, a beautiful show, romantic show, not overly complicated, but it was great to see like really creative new material that was different than any traditional Broadway show break through in that way. And I mean, Broadway's just so creative. There's always so many different things. You've got shows based on movies, shows based on famous singers and recording stars, totally creative new shows from London or now other countries, avant-garde crazy plays with two people in them, huge plays with 30 people in them. There's just so much variety, and that's why I love it. It keeps us on our toes and definitely entertains us,
Right.
even when we're just in the office trying to run it.
So I have a kind of and you can answer this or not answer this if you don't want to. Favorite Broadway star you've met? What's your somebody you've met, you're like, that person was awesome.
Well, I'd have to say Sutton Foster.
Sutton Foster? Okay.
Yes, sounds like you might not be familiar.
I'm
She
not
also had
familiar, no.
That's okay. She also had a TV show called Younger that she was the star of. A lot of
Okay.
people might know her from that. She was Hugh Jackman's co-star in The Music Man. She did another play, a revival of musical called Once Upon a Mattress last year. And she's just so fun, so kind, loves being a part of this community, always puts on an amazing performance. She's a true triple threat. Like she could really dance, sing, and act. And she is just so much fun.
And I'm not gonna ask you the antithesis of that question. I'm not gonna put you on the spot,
I mean,
Nathaniel.
there's lots of people who just like don't want to work with us. So those are my least favorite.
Yeah, there you go.
Not lots of. Occasionally there are.
Get on Nathaniel's good list, on good side. No, no, no. You're a great dude. So I'm not gonna go down that road. Okay. So within the business right now where you're at with Broadway Plus, and you're kind of, you're seeing some
Mhm.
amazing shows that are happening, you kind of back into, pre-pandemic levels. What is getting the most of your attention these days? Are, you know, is the economy playing into stuff, politics playing into stuff? I don't want to get into the politics game here, but I want to, just like what's really kind of keeping you up at night?
We are nervous because Canadian tourism to New York City has basically died overnight. I mean, we lost a $30,000 order and just haven't heard from any Canadian clients, so that sucks. Overall, it was a great season and Broadway is still doing well, so that's great. I think New York as a destination is I know New York as a destination is doing well. We're very involved in New York City tourism and conventions. They're an amazing referral source for us and a great team, so it's great that people still want to visit New York from all over the world. What's keeping me up at night? I mean, I've had a busy year. We actually acquired 2 other companies in the past year. They were both group sales agencies. So they weren't doing the experiences, they were just doing group sales ticketing. Both people had been in business for about 35 years and were retiring. We did some really nice deals to take on all their clients here at Broadway Plus. So that's been very busy for
Nice.
us.
Nice.
And yeah, we've seen strong growth. I mean, I really believe in our products. We have people, one of the best things about what we do is that people say, "Oh my God, this was the best day of my life. This was the coolest thing I've ever done." So thankfully, the business has grown pretty organically without huge marketing investment, and we've been able to just keep doing what we love and reaching more people with it.
So would you say you're in kind of like the building slash scaling stage of business right now?
Yeah, I guess that would be scaling. I mean, Broadway's
Yeah.
not exactly software.
Acquiring. Yeah. Okay.
Well, we'll
Yeah.
see how far we can take it. But yeah, the business turned 9 years old last week, which feels really good for me.
Congrats.
And we are just especially with group sales ticketing, we can only work with people who are buying more than 10 tickets, but we get them a discount. So we're providing a lot of value there. And having absorbed those other 2 businesses, we're really, we're selling about $15 million worth of tickets a year. And we've really been we are focused on growth in that space and partnering with more shows and partnering with them in a deeper way to make sure all of our clients and our past buyers are aware of what new shows are coming in and that we're doing a great job to help fill every seat every night.
That's awesome. So are you using, I mean, AI has been huge the last,
Mhm.
I mean, it's been around for a while, but for the last 2 years, specifically, this year has been like nuts, the impact with AI. How are you seeing artificial intelligence interact or intersect with Broadway?
I think we've found a lot of ways to use it to make my employees' lives easier and their work more efficient. I'm not replacing any humans with AI because I sell a VIP concierge service and it's important to me that we have the human touch and that we're developing a human relationship with people we work with and giving them our honest recommendations on what they should see. But we've been able to find a lot of ways on the back end that we can find new clients more easily, template emails, and keep everything organized, pull prices faster than we
Mhm.
used to be able to, and all that good stuff on the back end. With Broadway in general, I mean, we're one of the world's oldest art forms, so I hope we only have your Broadway shows written by humans for the time being and for a while. But, any business, I think there's a lot of ways we can
Yeah,
improve things and reach people who are coming to New York and help them decide what show to see. Any way we can do that and sort of demystify Broadway and make it easier to get fairly priced tickets and decide what show you're gonna see. I think that's where we're seeing the most innovation right now.
that's interesting. I wonder if like someday there'd be like a AI generated Broadway show. And people should just act. Here's what would be funny. They should just act it the way that it's written. So it's like really odd and weird.
I can't say I hope so.
No, is that a bad idea?
For me.
Well, hey, I just say all my ideas are good. All right. So how are your high value clients finding you?
So we're able to own our little niche corner of Google. We get a lot of people searching, VIP Broadway, Broadway experiences, all that good stuff. Usually we find a lot of people that way. We work a lot in the travel and tourism space, going to trade shows and conferences. I was asked to represent kind of all of Broadway in Spanish at a trade show in Mexico City last year, which was fun. And so we just try to make a name for ourselves, mostly through networking and referrals is how we get the most business because, people have had a great experience with us. And like any Broadway show, word of mouth is the best. We are seeing success with Google's Performance Max campaigns where they deliver, video content and more interesting, more engaged like retargeting content. We just shot a beautiful 5 video series explaining each division of what we do and put that up on our website. And yeah, I think that about covers. We have a huge Instagram. We're the 5th most followed theater account in the world at Broadway Plus. We have just under 500,000 followers on Instagram. So that's another great
Woo!
source for us. People.
Congrats.
Yeah, thanks. We don't really like focus on sales on the Instagram. It's more just like if you're interested in Broadway, here's fun and stuff for you
Yeah.
from videos, news
Yeah.
about new shows. But yeah, that's been really exciting to watch that build and have people know about us through that.
Yeah. So what other than kind of the Google Max, what other
Mhm.
marketing channels are working well for you? Are you like do you actually do traditional advertising or any other kind of social media advertising?
We we don't do Facebook advertising, but we have a pretty big organic Facebook page with about 100,000 followers. Again, just interested in our
Nice.
Broadway news.
Yeah.
We have LinkedIn, but no, the only paid we do is on Google and going to conferences.
Yeah. Do you speak Spanish?
See,
That's one of what I sent you
honestly,
to
not that
Mexico.
well. I always say español de colegio, which means high school Spanish when I'm
Yeah.
at these things.
I'm really bad, Well, that's a whole nother discussion for a
It
different
was
day. You know
fun.
what
It
I'm
was
saying?
really fun learning the obscure Broadway and theater vocabulary for it.
Really?
Yeah,
All right.
'cause you don't learn that in high school. You don't learn like
Yeah.
that
You
stuff.
don't. Here's obscure, language, that you're like, oh, okay. All right. So what are you wanting to, as you kind of focus your business moving forward, growth and acquired a few companies and group sales. What's one thing you're wanting to dial in over the next 6, 12 months?
Well, I've been working on a book actually about how to design VIP experiences. So
Ooh,
that's
exciting.
my project this year, probably going into early next year. It's going to be called the VIP Effect, designing experiences that impact and impress. So that's my project right now is giving a toolkit to other people who want to build an experience based business or apply what I've learned in 9 years of doing this to their life, their business. I have like a chapter on how to plan a great party or event, how to plan a great trip, how to plan a meet and greet if you have a specific business like I do, and just how to apply these principles to whatever you like to do. I think
That's
so. I'm
awesome.
excited about that.
I understand what you're doing. As an author of 3 books myself,
Wow.
I know what it takes to get a book done, and it is a lot of work.
Yeah.
It's a labor of love,
I'm
man.
learning.
I'm actually really proud of you because most people say they want to write a book and never get to it and never do it. So to dive in and know that, oh man, you're in the thick of it now.
Yeah, it's been fun. It's been really fun. I was like, what can I don't know. I was encouraged to do it and well, I'm not some famous Broadway star. I'm not gonna write about that. There's way more successful entrepreneurs of bigger businesses. I'm not going to do that. But I was like, okay, I really have learned so much by
Yeah.
doing in terms of experience design. And I do feel like I have something to say. And
Yeah.
according to my Google searching, no one's written this before. So that feels good. And it's been fun.
Nice. Well, that's exciting. I mean, it's, to go down that road is it takes a lot of guts to do that. And do you have a release date yet, or are you just kind of still working through it? Not yet.
It should be probably early next year.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll make sure we put in the show notes. We'll link to your website. So obviously we'll do that. That's a no brainer. So if you make an announcement through there or you follow them on Instagram or whatever, yeah, check
Perfect.
out the book. Check it out
Just
when it comes out.
nathanielhill.net.
Happy to do that.
Thank you.
So what's the next evolution of Broadway Plus? What does that look like?
For Broadway Plus, I feel like we do a lot. I just want to do more of it. So it's growth, maybe taking a couple jobs that are one person right now and dividing them into 2 jobs. We've been working a lot around the world on the corporate event side. So we mostly only do tickets when you're coming to New York, but Broadway actors can fly anywhere. So
Hmm.
we've done some really big events in London, in the Cancun area, actually, all over the country and all over the US. So I really want to work more across the country and across the world in the corporate event space. You know, there's amazing actors on tour,
Mm,
and there's a lot of actors here who are even the most successful Broadway actors, they sometimes have a few months unemployed, and we can book them. We can send them to a big conference or a big party to go entertain and meet people and share about their amazing careers and what they do and share their talents. So I think there's a lot of growth. I know there's a lot of growth potential for us on the corporate events side and also helping more schools. We have an education division where we work with schools who are coming to New York and plan their field trip. Usually they'll pick 5 to 10 shows to see, and then we do a workshop with the actor from the show. So we
that's
always
cool.
want to do more of that because it's just really rewarding to work in the education market and see students and get the amazing feedback from teachers about how how inspiring and fun it was for the students to work with someone who has their dream job.
Do you have any stories you could share that of an experience you provided for a school or student or an organization, just like something that just really kind of blew their socks off that was unexpected?
Sure.
Putting you on the spot here.
I need to go back into my notes for my book with all the lists of fun stories. For a school, I mean, we do
Anything
a
really. I'm
lot
just
with Wicked and with Hamilton. We've put together band workshops recently. The band of the musical can come see the show and then learn how to play music that the pit was playing during the show. Like we do that.
well, that's
We
cool.
Yeah, we developed that. We know some really cool ones with Wicked this year. So we had like the conductor of Wicked come in and teach a workshop to the band and teach the musicians how to play the music that he conducts every night at Wicked. We also work with the makeup designer at Wicked. So we have a really fun one where your teacher or a student, a lucky winner student, can get put into the green makeup that's so iconic from the show.
Hmm.
And it's there's so many amazing tech careers on the backstage technical side of theater.
Yeah, not just the actors on the stage, but
Ex-
everyone around it, right? Yeah.
Lighting, sound, set design, gigs, makeup. So those are really fun for students to see. Every for every actor you see on stage, there's around 5 or 6 people backstage and in offices making a show happen. So we really like to open that world up
Hmm.
for students. And then it's always fun when like students post on Instagram and engage with the actor and follow the actor and then sort of have like an ongoing relationship with them through social media can be fun. We've seen that happen a lot. We have a really amazing actor in Hamilton. His name is Thane Jasperson. He's the only actor who's been in Hamilton all 10 years that it's been running. He does a lot of our Hamilton experiences and he's just incredible at engaging with students and teaching them dance combinations and staying in touch after. And it's just, it's just so much fun to build those connections and see what happens with them.
It's really cool. I mean, who knows what those impacts have made, in the lives of students and
Yeah,
teachers,
with
you know?
Hamilton on tour, we often book actors of color to go to schools that are predominantly students of color, and that's some of the most rewarding feedback. Just like it was, amazing for my students to see an actor of color who's having such a successful career, who's worked so hard, who's on tour, who loves their job, and who's really like built themselves the life that they wanted in the entertainment industry. It's really cool to see that and get that sort of feedback with that show on tour and specifically.
So how does that, like, you know, you as a, founder and, the curator of this whole thing, I mean, more or less, right? Right. That's a way of putting it. I mean,
Yeah.
you're the one who's stitching it all together and providing these. I mean, how has it impacted you personally?
It makes me appreciate experiences and how powerful they are, how worthy of dollars they are, frankly. Like, I have a pretty small apartment. I don't own a lot of stuff because I spend my money on travel and going places and meeting people. The real secret sauce of Broadway Plus is who you met, and that's what when people talk about. That's what they are excited about. That's what they anticipate is meeting the actor and building a connection. So I think it's really made me focus my life on who am I with? what new people am I going to meet somewhere? What can I learn from them? How can I connect with them? And also, I really focus on the team that I have. You know, you said that I curate everything, but really these days I have an amazing team that put together every experience with our
Yeah.
clients and the Broadway actors. And so I work really hard to make sure that they're on top of their game and doing everything they can to help every single person and providing great service and building a great experience. I mean, this is what the book is about, is like there are things that you can be very deliberate about doing to build great experiences. You know, you don't just
Mhm.
put two people in the room, you properly introduce them and you think about what the room looks like and you make
Mhm.
sure they get an amazing photo afterwards. And so I think about everything in my life as like, what is the experience that I'm designing and that I'm giving myself or giving my friends or my partner or the other people that are interacting with me. Because at the end of the day, like, that's what life is about. I think we remember the
Mhm.
people first
Right.
beyond the things and the places. So I just try to focus on that.
That's awesome. I wholeheartedly agree with you that experiences are I'm just like you. I love traveling. I love seeing the world, and it opens your eyes and opens your heart to things you never would have experienced otherwise. Or, it broadens your perspective, you know. So I applaud you for you and your team. When I said you, I meant you and your team encompassing.
Okay.
That's what I meant. But it shows that your heart is in the right place. Of course you're building a business and there's all those things, but the ultimate goal here is to provide somebody the most amazing experience that they can have that they won't forget.
And that's a luxury.
Yeah, it is a luxury. So kind of getting back into like more reflective mode here. If you had kind of a metaphorical magic wand and you could fix one thing in your business, what would that be?
Moving is a very old industry. It started in the 1920s and it can be very slow to adapt and change. Like there's different theater owners and different ticketing systems, and it was really hard to break into and even harder to like start a business and get a business off the ground. And so I wish the industry was a little more receptive to innovation and change and that people weren't quite so like set in the ways and this is how we do things and these are the rules. And but at the same time, I made it work, and if it were easy, a lot of other people would have already done it. So there's that.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. It would be nice if more shows stuck around for longer and weren't so expensive.
Yeah. How long does the average show stick?
So a lot of plays are limited runs, and those are usually between 12 and 20 weeks. Like if you have a big movie star, um, or it's maybe not a super commercial thing, it's more of an avant-garde creative piece. Usually that'll just be like 12 to 20 weeks in the fall or in the spring. Almost always the goal is to run forever. And so they might put like 6 months on sale to begin and certainly hope and financially need to put another 3 to 6 months on sale at a time and run forever.
Okay.
I mean, the reality is not a lot of shows of any kind make it past a year, but then, some do and run for
Yeah.
decades.
So I don't know. I mean, I don't know if you can answer this question or not, and I'm just curious.
Huh?
What makes a good show good versus one that dies out over a
Oh,
year?
sure. I think we all know, but it's hard to express, and it's even harder to write. Good shows are entertaining. First of all, you don't get bored. I think they're relatable. You see yourself and people in the story, um, and you connect with them in some
Mhm.
way. You feel like you have things in common and you've had similar experiences or reactions. There are some formulas for great musicals. There's this formula called the I Want song, where a lot of people would say a great Broadway musical has a primary character, and in the like second or third or fourth song, they're talking about what they want. And then you go on a journey with them through the ups and downs of ultimately getting it. There's also a famous convention called the 11 o'clock number in a Broadway musical, which is from when shows were very long and started at 8 or 8:30 p.m. So at around the 3 hour mark, the central character would sing a long, amazing, well, not necessarily long, but a very powerful solo number about their emotional journey, maybe their triumph or the hardest thing they've gone through. So some people would say that makes it, or it can be a component of a great musical. Um, I think they have to surprise. I think that's important. Like having watched Hamilton take off, I was in meetings before Hamilton was playing anywhere where we were like, well, it's going to be hard to get Broadway theater goers to go to a musical that's all hip hop. And it's like, do people
Spoken
really want to
word and
learn about
everything.
the
It's like,
American
yeah,
Revolution? What's that?
it's spoken word, right? A lot of rap, hip
Yeah.
hop, spoken
Yeah.
word.
It's a
Yeah,
combination of music and rap.
yeah, yeah. That's amazing. It's an
But
amazing play.
it was that combination of rap, hip hop, musical theater with the founding of America that just like makes no sense. But then someone tells you to go see it, and you're intrigued. So I
Mhm.
think they have to really hold your attention with an intriguing and surprising concept that you're like, that doesn't sound right, but I hear it's great, so I got to see this.
And it works. Yeah.
Yeah,
And then all of a sudden the steamroll, the with the snowball effect, right? Starts going down the hill and starts
exactly.
gaining momentum, and before you
It's
know it.
all about word of mouth. It doesn't matter how much we advertise Broadway shows. It's all about people telling their friends to go see them.
Yeah. Well, puts the onus on the creators to make a good show,
Definitely.
right? Yeah. Okay. Well, looking back to your younger business self, like when you
Mhm.
started this whole thing back in what, 2019, 2016,
6
16. Uh, what would be one piece of business advice you'd give to your younger self?
Well, I often say everything I want to happen has happened, but slower and later than I wanted it to. I don't know if that's advice, but it would be it's comforting.
Yeah. That you'll get there eventually, right?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
not
Okay.
really
All
advice,
right.
but that would have been nice to know. I was very stressed in the first 3 years of the business.
Yeah.
I think, in the beginning, I decided, okay, my product is backstage tours at Broadway shows hosted by actors. And I just sort of put that on sale. And in the first 3 years, it was a lot of learning, like, okay, that's like people are interested in that, but especially in the luxury tourism market, people want what they want when they want it. And so it took me some time to reorient my mindset and my business around that, around becoming, I had to learn how to become a concierge that, I can't just work with the shows that want to work with me. I have to find a way to work with every show because people, especially in the luxury tourism market, where we Broadway Plus acts as a resource for the luxury tourism market for anything they want Broadway. So amazing seats, backstage tours, all that stuff. So I had to sort of do a plan B, like many businesses, and reorient myself towards client service instead of just like, here's what I sell, I hope someone buys it.
Mm.
That makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah. So in those early days, if you could reflect back in those first 3 years,
Mhm,
being stressed and like, you're trying to get your legs underneath you metaphorically, right?
mhm.
So what, when you came across those roadblocks, what did you do to get through them?
I mean, I listened to the what's it called? How I Built This podcast. I listened to it not just for therapy, but because the moral of every story is just keep going.
Hmm.
So I definitely kept going. I took on a minority partner in the business who came from the luxury travel concierge world, and he taught me a lot about that half of what I was doing. Like, in hindsight, I came to it with the theater and the Broadway knowledge and expertise, and I needed him to teach me how to work with clients and how to provide great service and to work in that space. So that was a really productive partnership. He's still a part of the company, and he taught me so much early on. And yeah, I mean, I just kept going and tried to listen to what do people want to buy? What are they willing to spend money on? Again, it's not about what I can this like rigid thing that I'm offering only when I'm offering it. It's about listening to the customers and finding new customers in places that I didn't think they existed, and really just having an open mind and and listening and asking questions and learning about where is the market for this thing that I want to do and want to build.
Good words of advice, like listening. What are
Yeah.
people telling you?
And I always say that to my sales team too. Like, I have to hire people who are really great talking to strangers, but ultimately their job is to listen. What do you sell? What do you sell? What do you want out of your Broadway experience? What kind of actor do you want to meet? What is because some people want to just have fun. Some people want to really learn a lot. Some people want to do a lot very quickly. There's all different kinds of clients that we work with. So,
Yeah.
and they'll tell you, you just have to listen and
Yeah.
ask the right questions.
Yeah. That's very true. So I have a couple questions left. If you could leave our listeners with one thing from, hearing your story today, what would that be?
I would say your life is an experience that you can design. And my favorite quote about experience design, well, it's not what it's about, but I apply it to, is the Maya Angelou quote, which is that people will forget what you said and something like they'll forget what you said, they'll probably forget what you did, but they'll always remember how you made them feel.
Mm.
And so that's what we focus on here. And any business that has customers can focus on how are we making our customers feel? Do they feel valued? Do they feel like they're worth our time of day? Do they feel like we care? Or are we just a number to them?
Hmm.
And so that's how I lead. That's how I design the experience of working here, the experience of Broadway artists who choose to work with us. We're giving them an experience. We pay them for it, but we're giving them an experience. And then, of course, our customers, we want to create an incredible experience that makes them feel excited and joyful and like they learned a lot.
What's your favorite show right now
My favorite show right
that's
now,
on Broadway?
I always have many. My favorites are Hamilton, Six, Moulin Rouge, and Death Becomes Her.
All right. In that order?
It's tough because I've seen Hamilton so many times. Of the last 5 years, I would say Death Becomes Her. It opened last season. It's based on the '90s film. It is great, a great adaptation. Every minute is hilarious.
Okay. All right. If you're going to New York, hit up Broadway Plus, get some tickets, get an experience, and check out that show.
You
There you
won't be
go.
disappointed.
All right. Oh, anything? This is kind of last question, which is another kind of a fun one. What's going on in your world? Anything you like to promote? You got something coming up? You're at an event you're going to be at? Trade show? What's going on in your world?
Sure. Well, I mentioned the book, so I'm very excited about that. Go to BroadwayPlus.com, check out our awesome new videos about that explain what we do better than I can and with snazzy visuals. And then I'm a producer on an amazing off-Broadway show called Ginger Twinsies right now. It is a zany parody of the Lindsay Lohan Parent Trap movie.
Oh,
It's got great reviews. It is totally crazy, off the wall. Again, laugh out loud funny every single minute. And I'm really proud of it. And it's been great fun and a great experience to be a producer on it. So come check out Ginger Twinsies in New
when
York.
has that opened already?
Yes. Yep. We opened about a
Okay.
month ago.
Okay.
And one
Yeah,
of
maybe.
the original evil almost stepmother from the film, her name is Elaine Hendricks. She's one of my fellow producers on it.
Well,
So
very cool. I
enjoy.
love those old Parent Trap movies. The one from the was it the Disney one from the 60s,
Yeah,
50s or
there's
60s?
one from 1961 starring Haley
Yeah,
Mills,
yeah.
and then this is based on that, but a little bit more based on the Lindsay Lohan 1998 one.
Okay, okay. All right. Well, we'll put links to that too. So if you want to get tickets and check that out, we'll do that
Thank
too.
you.
So we'll, let people know about it. So, man, that's all the questions I got for you today. So appreciate your
Us.
your time, Nathaniel. Appreciate what you're doing. Broadway Plus, check them out. BroadwayPlus.com. Super simple. I'll put links in the show notes to everything we talked about and pick up Nathaniel's book when it comes out too. So yeah, I can't wait to see what's in store for you guys and appreciate everything you're doing.
It was so much fun talking to you. Thanks, Justin.
You bet. All right, everybody, that wraps up today's episode on the Rise Up podcast. Thanks so much for hanging out, listening, and I guess we'll catch you on the next one.